Well, welcome back to Growth Groups. I'm so glad you are with us. For some of you, I'm wearing this shirt in a way of kind of honoring you and saying, way to go. Many of you today went and got baptized in IB and at the beach baptisms. If that was you, super proud of you. Way to take that next right step in your faith with Jesus and taking that public and letting people know that you are starting a new life with Him. So good job on you for doing that. If someone in your growth group got baptized today, make a big deal about it because that's awesome. I'm proud of you guys. Today I'm excited about your discussion. We're going to be continuing our series that we're in called Jesus-Centered Life. Last week we answered this question, who do we say that Jesus is? Many of us started this conversation maybe for the very first time. And today we're going to continue it by talking about what do people who follow Jesus look like? What is the kingdom of God like? Or a better way to put it, what is the family of God like? What are the values of the family of God? What does Jesus say the kingdom of God should look like? And the truth is, when it comes to being a part of God's family and starting this new way of living in the kingdom of God, there's a learning curve. We all have something to learn. Like, have you ever been somewhere completely brand new and you had to figure out how things work? For some of you, that's high school this year. Ninth graders, man, maybe for you, you're learning the new ways of high school. I remember for me, when I moved to Texas from Florida, my grandfather ran a radiator shop in Texas. I know and knew nothing about cars. So I'd never worked at a radiator shop, never worked as a mechanic, never really, I don't tool, okay? So this was a chance for me to go learn something new. And I remember when I started working there, one of the moments that stands out to me is when I'm working on this gentleman's car. This was like my first week of being at my grandfather's radiator shop. And the guy was nervous. He could tell I didn't really know what I was doing, and so he was watching me very closely, and because he was watching me, I was more and more nervous, and I'm trying to take off his radiator, so I've got this ratchet, and I'm going, not that kind of ratchet, shake it off. I can't say that, can I? Can I say that? I'm saying it. So I got this ratchet, I'm trying to take off this bolt, and I take the metal ratchet, right, and I touch the car battery. And so here I am being electrocuted right in front of this gentleman who is terrified as to wondering why is this guy who doesn't know what he's doing working on my car. He really, was very protective of his vehicle. And so now sparks, true story, sparks are flying from this car battery as I'm being electrocuted. And my grandfather had to come over and push me away, push me off because my hand had, closed so tightly on the tool, and because of the electricity I couldn't let go. It was a mess, right? So because of that, my grandfather decided to take a different approach with me. He didn't want me to just start working on cars. He decided he was going to start training me. And so I would meet him there at work extra early. He would teach me things like don't touch wires from the car battery. That was an important life lesson for me. But as I learned how to really be a part of that team for him at his shop, I began to learn how things worked. I understood, at lunchtime, what everybody's order was, because I was the new guy, so I'd go buy, you begin to get in the flow of how things work at the shop. And I think that's similar to how things go when we start following Christ. Like, we begin to learn, what does it look like to be a part of God's family now? How does God, every family does things differently, right? You ever go to your friend's house and you think their family's weird, right? It's because it's just different. Or you go to their friend's house and you think it's awesome because it's different, right? Everybody does things. Well, the family of God has a different way of living than how the rest of this world lives. We have a different code of conduct. We have a different purpose and purpose in our life, a different meaning, a different goal. And so I think it's just like me jumping into the radiator shop. There's a learning curve where we get in and we get to learn, what does the kingdom of God look like? How do I do this God family thing? So today in your growth group, you're going to talk about some of these things that Jesus says in his parables or his short stories about the kingdom of God, what the kingdom of God should look like. And so hopefully you enjoy that. Hopefully you learn something. I'm encouraging you to participate in this discussion. For some of you, maybe you might feel uncomfortable sharing. Yeah, you can participate by at least engaging and listening. Others of you, maybe you need to be a part of the discussion. Share some of your thoughts, and that way everybody can learn from each other. So thank you for being here. I'm so excited for these next moments where you're going to go ahead and discuss this. And as you do so, here's how I want to set up your discussion. Each of you take a turn going around and share the strangest thing that your family does. Ready? Go.